Good morning. My name is Michael Kelleher, Program Director of the Donald Windham-Sandy M Campbell Literature Prizes at Yale University. On behalf of the Beinecke Rare Book and Manuscript Library, welcome to the 2014 Windham Campbell Prize Winners announcement. In his introduction to Donald Windham's short story collection, The Warm Country, E.M. Forster writes, "To my mind, the most important thing about Donald Windham is that he believes in warmth. He knows that human beings are not statues, but contain flesh and blood and a heart. This spirit of generosity, as well as a love of literature and a profound sympathy for his fellow writers, led Windham to establish the prizes. The Windham Campbell Prizes call attention to literary achievement and provide writers with the opportunity to focus on their work independent of financial concerns. Awards are made to English language writers at all stages of their careers from anywhere in the world. Nominees must have one published book or one professionally produced play to their credit. This year, there were 64 nominees from 16 countries. From this group, 8 were selected to receive the prize. Each will receive a citation, diploma, and $150,000 to support their writing. The prizes will be conferred at a ceremony and literary festival here on campus, September 15th to 19th, 2014. Information about prize winners will be available at windhamcampbell.org following this announcement. Today's recipients did not know that they had been nominated or that their nominations had progressed through a year-long process involving 51 nominators, jurors, and judges, all of whom agreed to work anonymously. I'd like to thank them for the fine work they've done in nominating and selecting this year's prize winners. I'd also like to thank the Windham Campbell Prize Steering Committee, the Office of the President, and the Director and staff of the Beinecke Library for their support. I will return to the podium to answer questions following this announcement, but now it's my pleasure to introduce Yale's President, Peter Salovey. Peter.
Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you all for coming. It's hard to believe it's been a year since our last announcement in this very location. Yale, as you know, is honored to be the home of the Windham Campbell Prizes and to the Windham Campbell Prizes Festival. And we're especially grateful to the late Donald Windham and Sandy Campbell for creating this legacy. It's always humbling to stand in the glow of this tower of books, one of the great monuments to human intellectual achievement. Really, one of the great monuments to human intellectual achievement in the world. I can't think of a more appropriate setting to announce the winners of a global literary prize than here at the Beinecke. I feel certain the winners will one day add their inscriptions to this monument. As Michael noted, all 9 prize winners will come to Yale in September. During last year's festival, the entire campus lit up with excitement as we celebrated the work of our prize winners with talks, classes, performances, readings, film screenings, and impromptu conversations about these great writers. It was an inspiration to kick off my first year as Yale's president amid such a buzz. It's my feeling that by establishing the prizes at Yale, Donald Windham knew that he was placing them in the care of a friend who shared his concerns that writers be supported and that their achievements not go unrecognized. So I look forward to welcoming all of this year's prize winners to Yale in September, and I hope their work will continue to inspire readers on campus and around the world. There are 8 prize winners this year, 3 each in the categories of drama and fiction, and 2 in nonfiction. So, the Windham Campbell Prizes for Drama are awarded to, from the United States, Kia Corthron. Through her command of dramatic spectacle, Kia Corthron places often unheard and marginalized characters within a historical and political context that gives their lives an urgent and poetic resonance. From the United Kingdom, Sam Holcroft. Sam Holcroft's plays explore the routinized and expressive registers of language, gesture, and role-playing, walking the uncomfortably thin line between spectatorship and complicity. From Australia, Noelle Janiszewska. Noelle Janiszewska brings innovative stagecraft and a questioning voice to plays that translate cultural and political tensions into drama as complex as it is illuminating. Now, the Windham Campbell Prizes for Fiction are awarded to, from Pakistan, Nadine Aslam. Nadine Aslam's deftly crafted novels explore historical and political trauma with lyricism and profound compassion. From the United Kingdom, Jim Crace. Jim Crace's ever-varied novels return us to the body, to ceremony, and to community in a disenchanted world, transforming the indifferent and the repugnant alike into things of beauty. From Sierra Leone, Aminata Forna. Aminata Forna writes through and beyond personal experience to speak to the wider world in subtly constructed narratives that reveal the ongoing aftershocks of living through violence and war. The Windham Campbell Prizes for Nonfiction are awarded to, from India, Pankaj Mishra. Pursuing high standards of literary style, Pankaj Mishra gives us new narratives about the evolution of modern Asia. He charts the journey from the Indian small town to the metropolis and rebuffs imperialist cliches with equal verve. From the United States and Canada, John Valiant. John Valiant writes gripping narratives that combine science, geography, history, and anthropology to convey his passionate commitment to preserving natural resources in an environmentally threatened world. We thank these winners for the ways in which their work has enriched us, enriched all of us, and we congratulate them on this incredible achievement. I look forward to meeting all of them in September. Once again, I want to thank all of you for joining us here this morning, and especially Michael for your great work on this program. Thank you all very much.
So we have a microphone that's set up over here. If anybody would like to ask questions, if you could walk up to the microphone, because we'd like to have the questions be heard on the video that's streaming live around the world right now. Does anybody have any questions that they would like to ask? Are there any members of the press here? You don't have to be with the press to ask a question. Yeah, thanks, Jim.
I was just wondering if you could outline how many judges there are who are part of this nominating process, and talk a little bit about why there were 8 awards rather than I think there were 9 last year.
Correct. There are 30 nominators approximately each year, and those nominators change each year. Each nominator makes 2 nominations, so that's where we get our nominees from. There are 3 juror panels, prize juries, that meet, one for each category. Each jury has 3 members, so there are 9 jurors across the 3 categories. And then the final committee, the selection committee, has 8 members. And so I think that adds up to somewhere near 50. I'm a language person. The reason there were only 8 prize winners this year is that when the prize selection committee meets, they try to come to a consensus on all the prize winners. All 8 prize winners were consensus prize winners. Everybody agreed 100% that these should be the prize winners this year. In the category of nonfiction, there were other nominees that made the final list, but no consensus could be come to by the selection committee, and it's their prerogative to award fewer awards rather than the full number if they feel that that is in their best interest. So this year it was really about not being able to come to consensus and deciding it would be better to not select somebody if they couldn't come to a consensus on those people.
Thank you. I also wondered, is it a prerequisite that the winner has to be available to come to New Haven for the festival?
Yes. So what happens is we met on Monday all day long and selected the prize winners and wrote the citations. And I spent all of Tuesday trying to contact the prize winners. I call them on the phone. I play Ed McMahon. I say, "Hi, I'm this guy from Yale University, and by the way, you just won $150,000. And it's very exciting. It's a very emotional day. People's responses are incredibly powerful to experience. And as far as I could tell, nobody had any idea that they were nominated, and that's how we chose to do it. Did I answer your question? I feel like I missed something. No. Okay, good. Anybody else? Peter.
So last year you had a couple of good stories about how people reacted when they heard the news. Are there any such stories this year?
Well, they ranged from tears. One of the prize winners, I won't out anybody so I don't embarrass them, but one of the prize winners at one point was quite moved and asked me if I could just continue to talk for a while because she was unable to respond verbally at a certain point. Another one of our prize winners was really appreciated because she had recently had surgery and had to use Medicaid in order to be able to pay for the surgery. And, I think that's a really profound statement about the way a lot of artists have to live in the present and really speaks to the need for a prize like this. And I think that was really one of the most moving responses I got this year. So it's a very powerful experience to talk to everybody during the course of the day, and it really, I think, speaks to the way that this prize is evolving to support writers in a way that I think Donald Windham would have been very proud of and honored to be a part of. Yes. Yes. All right. Waiting for the microphone.
I'm just curious, are there ever people that you call and they don't believe it?
Yes. I had one of the prize winners I was chasing down for the better part of 24 hours. I sent several emails. I tried to make friends with them on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and they finally wrote back to me late in the day on Tuesday and said, I kept seeing these emails and I thought it was one of those sort of Nigerian hoax emails. And that was the case several times. Nobody this year asked me for firm documentation outright, but I did have a letter prepared from the director of the Beinecke that went straight out to everybody after we'd made our phone call. So, anybody else? Okay, well, thank you very much, and congratulations once again to the 2014 prize winners. I should note that they did all agree to come, so you will get a chance to meet all 8 prize winners during the prize festival, which will take place September 15th to 19th, 2014 here at Yale University.